And one of the, I guess I call it a criticism, but one of the things people tell me about the Fight Factory is one of the reasons they don't come train here is because there's a pretty rigorous expectation before they'll put you in the ring. Do you guys have a set kind of,
yes.
When your coaches say you're ready, or is it just kind of anybody who wants to fight can go in there?
No, absolutely. There is a huge expectation, and what it is, Keith and Drew and Tori, they all expect a certain amount of professionalism, ability, and just overall ability to protect yourself. That's like the main thing. And like we see a lot from other gyms that they put guys in the ring. I mean, we've even had those guys as opponents. I know Eric and I, especially as amateurs, where we got in there and it was like they just really didn't have any business being in the ring. They got lucky against me because I don't really pound people out too much. They just got like submitted or whatever. But some of those guys got socked up by Eric, and even Donnie as an amateur, and that's bad business. It's bad for your athletes, and we just don't believe in that as a gym. We're not going to put anybody in the ring until they're ready.
And Keith kind of told me too, you guys are trying to build a brand. When someone steps in the ring with a Fight Factory shirt, they're not just representing themselves; they're also representing the gym. It's kind of a
it's another part of that commitment to each other, man. So I mean, once you go out there in that Fight Factory T-shirt, or like it used to be with the Tool Shed T-shirt, that's us putting our stamp on you. That's not just a single guy walking out there. That's hours and hours of blood, sweat, and tears of everybody that came into the gym and put in time on that person, believing in them and their abilities. And we're just not comfortable putting that on somebody that's going to go out there and maybe they want to be a fighter, but they just the mental toughness hasn't developed yet, the skill hasn't developed, whatever the case may be. We want the Tool Shed / Fight Factory product to be the best in the Colorado market, hands down.
Our next question was sent in by Ian, and that's for Donnie. Are we going to see a Kronk Liles 3?
John was real cool to give me a rematch, and as a matter of fact, when I walked out of the cage after I beat him the last time, he said, "You owe me one, you bastard." So absolutely, I owe him one, and if the powers that be go ahead and put that together and everything's in order, then absolutely.
All right, the next question was sent in by Mr. Muscle Maker, and he wants to know what was your toughest fight, win or loss? And this is for all you guys.
I'd say probably my toughest fight had to be Cameron Dollar, first time. Just chance on my head. But probably I'd say I have to give Alfredo Corona credit. He's probably been my mentally strongest, toughest opponent, and I felt like I dominated him the entire fight, and the entire time I was just waiting for him to quit, but he just kept coming.
For me, I'd have to say my two toughest opponents have been, and this is not to take any credit away from any of my actual opponents in the ring, but have always been myself and Drew Lawrence, and that's because like it's no secret that I've had issues with my training, with my schedule, and being in the military, and even just myself, pushing myself in the gym. And so my toughest opponents, I think, for me have been myself and Drew Lawrence, because he kills us over there at his In Shape facility over there off of 8th Street, and little plug in there. But also, like I said, not take anything away from Luke Holdorf, who put it on me a couple of times too. So,
probably like I'm in the same boat with Velore, but I think in the ring fighting, my toughest fight was probably the last Jay Haran fight. It was pretty intense, went the distance, and it was the first time I went in there and feel like I actually fought and took a good thorough beating and actually lost a fight. So it was kind of cool.
That was your IFL last IFL.
That was the last the Grand Prix fight, yes sir.
All right, this next question was sent in by Chris Zacher, but if the Fight Factory was to get into a fight at a bar, what 5 fighters would you want to have with you?
Oh wow.
Probably all the same ones that usually go. And
okay, seriously, no, this is real talk. One of those guys for me, I gotta say my 5. The 3 of us right here. Absolutely. Keith Wilson, of course. I mean, he's our coach, and Drew Lawrence. And with the subs, and I want to put this in there though. My alternate would definitely be Mark Padilla. And y'all,
I agree with this.
Mark Padilla is not a fighter yet. Okay, but he's one of our guys here, and he's definitely got a lot of street experience, and he's very, very street savvy.
15-0 in the parking lot.
15-0 in the parking lot. So we definitely would have to throw him in there with us. So.
All right, the next question was sent in by user Killer King, and it's for Donnie. He wants to know why you're up to 185. You used to be fighting at 170, and do you see yourself ever going back down to 170?
I sure hope so. I personally blame Qdoba. Actually, when I started out, as my first few amateur fights were at 185 pounds, and then once I trimmed down and I was able to make 70, I started doing that. But it's just real hard for me to make 170 pounds. I usually cut 15 or 20 pounds every time I fight at 70, so it's just trying on me. But hopefully it'll happen. If I can get slimmed up here, I'd start really kicking into high gear. Got these fights coming up, and I'm starting to trim down. So hopefully 1 or 2 fights at 85, and we'll go down to 70.
All right, that's all the questions I have. Do you guys have anybody you want to give a shout out to? I know you already mentioned your trainers. Do you have any sponsors? Anybody else you train with you want to mention?
The Fightco brand, you see it right there. We're sponsored by Fightco. It's a good brand. You guys check it out, FightcoUSA.com, I believe. Eric, I definitely want to give props to him. He pushes me harder than anybody else in the gym because he's one of the guys who's closer to my size, and he's just an awesome training partner for me. We click real well together. I'd like to personally thank Fareed Samad, Pat Cross. Pat Cross, a lot of different guys who's, put time in to our careers who aren't even really affiliated with this gym, and they've taken the time to see something in us and take time out of their schedules and put time into us. So anybody else y'all want to thank?
I got to thank my pops for time off to train for this fight. He gave me a week off to kick it in gear, train like a pro, so I appreciate that. Thank you a lot.
Just like you said, the Fightco, all the fans, especially the guys that come out and support all these fight shows locally, and just my family for being understanding, and the kids for being in here night after night, bored as hell while I'm training and getting beat up. So just the family and all the fans, I guess.
Oh yeah, one last person, I'm sorry, but Veronica Martinez for putting up with my schedule. I definitely got to say that. I got to throw that in there. Love you, baby.
That's your fiance now, right? Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right, you can catch all these guys May 16th down in Pueblo, Colorado at Warriors Collide 3. Eric Fagyas and Velore Caballero making their pro debuts, and Donnie Liles, the co-main event with Cruz Chacon. Good luck to you guys, and we'll see you down there.
Got Cruz, I'm coming. Chump.
Take notes to smashing your hopes and dreams. They can't cope with the likes of me. It's so dope, just the mic and me. I do it right when I hype the beat. That's why every rapper wants to fight with me. You never want to step to us, the best of us. Beat you down, then I'll turn your rep to dust. Invest to crush wax like a zoo. Think they flush and want to mess with us.